7:46, welcome back. And President Trump has signed an executive order this week reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug.
Trump stressed this will not legalize recreational cannabis nationwide, but it is expected to ease restrictions and pave the way for research on marijuana's medical uses. With more on this and what this could all mean for us, we're going to bring in Melissa Johnson. She's a licensed clinical social worker and clinical director at Victory Starts, where she specializes in mental health and addiction recovery.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What was your reaction when you heard this shift in schedule and reclassification?
You know, I think at first there was a lot of confusion as to what that even means.
Right.
And I think a lot of people were having the same reaction of what does it mean to go from a class 1 to a class 3. And so being able to understand that it's going from something that is really dangerous like heroin and LSD to something that has potential to be researched like codeine, it's really opening the door for us to understand what marijuana does and the risks and benefits.
So not legalization on a federal level, but maybe more access for people who are interested in using marijuana perhaps for medical reasons like chronic pain being one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits that we see in the medical field for diseases like Parkinson's or chronic pain, where doctors are telling them CBD oil is really good for these things.
Seizures too.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of benefits, but we don't know about it because we haven't talked about it until now.
And it's not really studied federally, so everything's, you know, and you get into the situation now where in California, because recreational use is legal, that people in many ways are sort of like self-medicating themselves, right? They're like, well, maybe I'll try CBD, but they don't really necessarily know the efficacy or even like how strong something may actually be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think we've really understood what are the long-term benefits, what are the long-term risks. So we're kind of on that fence where now we get to know. It's like you don't know until you know. And this really opens the door for us to understand what is that research going to tell us.
Does this mean the FDA is now going to step in and start regulating things as well?
It definitely opens the door for that. You know, depending on what we see from the research, who knows what the possibilities will be.
Tell us about your organization and how you deal with people who are using this for different medicinal reasons and what you have seen, the experience has told you about where marijuana might be able to take us.
So I work at Victory Starts now, and we work a lot with people who have mental health conditions. And so we also deal with addiction recovery, and we see that there's a lot of co-occurring. So people self-medicate with marijuana when they don't have access to psych meds. And so being able to understand that relationship really helps people and our clients understand what is that risk, what are the benefits, and it helps us to understand people who may have that predisposition to being addicted to marijuana.
I was going to ask that question too, because there is, depending on who you talk to, there are different studies saying that marijuana does have addictive properties. So where do things stand from your clinical perspective?
You know, clinically, I think that just like with every other addiction, every other mental health diagnosis, it depends on the person. Just like there are people who have problems with alcohol and some people don't have problems with alcohol.
Right.
It really just depends on you, and it depends on the signs that we see. And so I always tell people, do your education, do your research, know the signs of what the dangers are so that you can step in when things get out of hand.
You know what's interesting about this also is that with all these issues that we're talking about, that sometimes medicinal marijuana seems to help people, or people claim anecdotally that it has helped them, but you're talking about like even sleep issues, as you said, you know, dealing with psychotropic issues, pain. Opioids sometimes are not the answer, and that's the thing, is like here's perhaps a way where you have a more robust research done so we know exactly what this can do and perhaps the, you know, how this can actually help.
Be a different path to pain management perhaps.
Yeah, there can be a lot of alternative good uses for this. It can also be something where people need to be aware of the fact that marijuana can cause psychosis. That can be a side effect. So I think understanding what that risk is and where the line is between risk and benefit, just like any other medication. Prescribing opiates, that's really addictive, but doctors do it. So once again, we're kind of, where's the line? And that's what this reclassification really will help us know, is where that line is.
I feel like, you know, a lot of the people who are against it, the one thing that I think is an absolute is like, you know, marijuana is not going to go away.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like we have to figure out how
you can't put the toothpaste back in the bottle, so you have to figure out how to manage it.
How are we going to manage it?
Yes, this really brings out and acknowledges the elephant in the room. You know, just like you said, being in California, there's that perspective where marijuana is okay because the state legalized it. But federally, it's not okay. So a lot of people don't understand, where are we going? What is the balance? What is the risk that they take with using marijuana in California versus other states?
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, hopefully this gives us a little bit more clarity, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Of
Melissa
course.
Johnson,
Thank you for
thanks so
having
much.
me.
Happy holidays. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Yes, you too.